part 2 of my port adjustment for my baffle change. So the last video you'll have to watch to kind of see how I did as far as where I am with this, my dialing and my port. So I already, like I explained, you got to see in the previous video, but I removed this, found out that my depth distance here is critiqued to where my most output's going to be most likely for my port area. So now I know it's not this, but I also know it's not this, so I'll dial this in. I'm going to go ahead and start with a 2x4 and a round over here. So what I'm going to do is get this in there. Good tight fit, which is good. That's what we want. I'm going to kick it out a little bit just so I can have that depth there. So it's not too far in to the box. Alright, and you got a little lip there, but nothing wrong with that. So that's where we are with this. Sorry if it's a little sunny out. So there's where we are. I also have my nice and sturdy. I also have my round over here, so we'll go find out what the results are after I get this in. So you can kind of see where this is going. Alright, so I know my depth and my round over. It's an ugly round over. I've been using it a lot, abusing it, but I'm making it work. Of course, you can always get a new PVC after you dial it in and get it where you want. Could gain another 1/10 or so, but I'm happy with what I got. Alright, so now we know our depth before and after. Whereas before, I think it was, we had it right around 9. Now we're at 10 and some change here. So before the loading wall, I couldn't go past here as my depth. So now I'm here. So just this little bit of a dial-in check could actually help me get better output. There's no telling without trialing it and doing tests, but you're not going to know unless you do it. All right, so that's in there pretty solid. Let's go find out if it goes up or down on low volume, and then I'll be able to do more. We'll find out. Okay, so let's get all of this out. Make sure it's always the exact same results for every test that we do. Okay, so there's the round over, and we'll see. Round over usually helps a little bit on output. It's not screwed down or anything, but it's pretty sturdy there, so it should help hold it up at least a little bit. And we'll find out how that does. So let's see. Make sure everything's on. Also, if you notice, my peak is up slightly. It's like 2 or 3 hertz higher since this, which is expected because my port area is bigger. But hey, if my output's louder doing this, then I'll be happy with it. If I gain half a dB from this, it'll be worth it. If I don't gain anything, I'll be disappointed, but hey, can't go back. Stuff like this you can't go back on. Alright, so we got this. Got my Bluetooth hooked up, everything's set the same. Let's find out where we are. Watch the previous video if you haven't to see where I was before this, so you'll know. So now we're at 30.3. I'll show you all the previous numbers so you can kind of see, like I mentioned, watch previous video to see what I did. Let me load this in. Sorry about the ugly mess that you see. So we started at 29.85, went to 30.25, then we went down, then we back up. So we're right at 0.25. So we gained about a 1/10 of a dB with the round over in that wood, which on low volume, it's not going to be substantial because it's low pressure. But when you go high volume, a round over could be drastic with that depth. So I think I'm getting to a point where I'm almost ready to tighten down, screw, tape everything, and do my first initial full tilt burp test. And once I get to that point, then I'll be able to know truly what the SPL score was for that. So I'll go explain to y'all what I did here and what I'm at, and then be able to show y'all what to expect soon with full tilt numbers once I dial in my get everything locked in place, because right now everything's loose. And when I full tilt burp it, I want to make sure everything's fully sealed and tightened, taped down, etc. for this. So, all right. So just so I can explain to y'all real quick. Sorry, it's a little sunny out. So now I know where my port is with my round over. Took this out. and my results were slightly different too. So I got to figure out what would make the most sense as far as if I'm going to use a 2x4, if I'm going to add to this length or reduce, and if this round over will be able to fit that. Because I was going to try doing it this way, the other way, like that, and doing it and then closing it in, but it's going to be too much of a gap, I feel. So I think it's going to be best if we did it the long way as the placement purpose of it. So I'm not sure which one to go with, but I'll have to dial that in off camera. There's only so much I can show y'all on camera. The rest of it's more just a lot of critique and hours of back and forth to get it dialed in. But thanks for watching part 2 of my port adjustment. End result, definitely happy with where I am. Glad that I took my loading wall out to see where I can gain with this. Going to be able to add some roundovers and screws and tape and do a couple of full tilt burp tests, and I'll be able to show y'all what the results are like afterwards. So obviously I got a lot to work on off camera, but I was trying to show y'all everything on camera from where I am and what I'm doing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Still watching, so I know I was ending it, but I decided not to. I just did it on the score on the glass. I got at 49 hertz. It was a 55.2, so we're still about 2/10 from where we need to be, but that's without me finalizing or tweaking my port 100%. And it's not fully in screwed or taped, but that's with a roundover just slapped in there, not screwed or taped down. So I'm still at the 55s. My peak went up to, so it was 47, now it's 49. So my peak went up 2 hertz, and my score may get dialed in and peak at 48, my guess, when I'm finalized with this. But it's definitely looking like a good final result. Doing this loading wall tweak might get me where I need to be as far as gaining instead of losing. So figured I'd share with y'all that are still watching to the end of my video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. But yeah, there's the result from that final change that I just did with y'all on camera, where I just tweaked my port, and that's where I'm at. So 55.2 at 49 hertz, and it's going to be a little more burpy if I stay at this point. It's still musical, but I'll probably lose a little bit on the low end, because as my peak goes up, I lose on the low end, which is expected, especially as my peak goes into the 50 hertz, which I don't want to be. My ultimate goal is to stay below 50 hertz and get as high as I can. If I get a 56, I get a 56. If I get a 53, I get a 53, but obviously I'm already at a 55. But I'm driving now, I'm about to head back, so I try to do burps on while I'm driving, since I can't do full tilt in the neighborhood where I live. But there y'all go. I hope this helps some of y'all to see that these port adjustments are helping me gain on the meter. You don't see the number gained yet because I haven't surpassed it, but I'm getting to that point. All right, stay tuned. What's going on, everybody? This is Jacob Viral, ending this video to say thank you for watching my videos. Every single day I have a daily cardio video I upload. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and I'll see you tomorrow.